The story begins in a completely deserted marketplace. We see a family silently gathering essential supplies. They are so terrified that they don't dare speak a single word to each other. They only communicate through hand signs. Something has forced them to stay absolutely quiet. The family is led by Lee Abbott, his wife Evelyn, their deaf daughter Reagan, who has been unable to hear since childhood, their son Marcus, and the youngest, Bo, only 4 years old, too little to fully understand the danger. While reaching for a toy rocket on a high shelf, Bo accidentally knocks it down. Everyone freezes in horror. But at the very last second, Reagan silently catches it and saves their lives. Lee signals to everyone, "It's getting dark. We have to get home fast, or we're all dead." Just then, little Bo brings the same rocket again. Everyone panics. It's a battery-powered toy that makes loud music when turned on. Lee quickly removes the batteries and places them on the table. Bo keeps insisting on taking the rocket. Reagan quietly slips the batteryless rocket into his hands so they can finally leave the store. As they walk home in a perfect straight line on bare feet over sand they laid down earlier, so not even footsteps can be heard. Little Bo secretly picks up the batteries too. The once bustling city, full of car horns and crowds, is now dead silent. Not even birds chirp. Almost the entire human race has been wiped out. Only a handful of people remain alive, including these 5. Suddenly, Bo puts the batteries back in and turns the rocket on. Loud music blares. Reagan can't hear it, so she doesn't react. But Lee and Evelyn hear it and panic. In an instant, a terrifying blind monster rushes out from the forest at lightning speed and snatches Bo away before anyone can stop it. 1 year later, Lee and his family have learned to survive in total silence. Lee has turned part of their house into a research lab. He now knows everything about these creatures. They came to Earth a year ago inside meteorites. They are completely blind, but their hearing is impossibly sharp. They can detect even the tiniest vibration or breath from miles away. Their skin is like armor. Bullets and weapons can't penetrate it. The only way to survive is to make no sound at all. Lee has covered the paths around the house with sand, installed silent footsteps marks, set up CCTV cameras, and even built an underground bunker for research. He discovered there are only 3 monsters in their area. He keeps sending radio signals for help, but no one has answered yet. Evelyn is heavily pregnant and about to give birth any day. Since a newborn baby will cry, they built a soundproof box with an oxygen mask inside. The moment the baby makes a sound, they'll put it inside to stay hidden. Because Reagan is deaf, she could accidentally make noise without realizing it, so Lee has been trying to fix her hearing. He builds a new, advanced cochlear implant hearing aid and gives it to her. At first, Reagan doesn't trust it. Her dad has made many that failed. She throws it down in anger, but when she finally tests it, she hears the outside world for the first time in years. Tears roll down her face. She also remembers her little brother Bo and blames herself for his death, if she hadn't given him that rocket. She wants to help her dad in the underground lab to prove herself. But Lee stops her. After what happened with Bo, he doesn't fully trust her around equipment that could make noise. The next day, Lee takes Marcus fishing. Reagan begs to come, but Lee refuses, saying, "Stay home and take care of your mom." Reagan feels hurt. She thinks her dad doesn't love her anymore. Angry and heartbroken, she packs a bag and runs away to the place where Bo died. She lies down beside his grave and falls asleep crying. Back home, Evelyn is alone. While carrying laundry, a nail on the staircase gets caught and flips upward, right where they step. She doesn't notice. At the river, Lee takes Marcus behind a loud waterfall, the only place they can speak normally because the water hides their voices. Marcus asks, "Do you blame Reagan for Bo's death?" Lee says no. It was no one's fault, Marcus replies. She still blames herself. You need to tell her. Meanwhile, Evelyn's water breaks. She's going into labor. Holding Bo's photo, she hurries to the basement. But in panic, She steps on the exposed nail, blood pours out. She bites her lip to stay silent, but the photo frame slips from her hand and smashes loudly on the floor. She pulls her foot free, turns on the basement light, which triggers red warning lights outside, and limps upstairs. Suddenly, she sees it. A monster has already entered the house because of the broken frame. Terrified, she hides. She finds a kitchen timer, sets it, throws it into a corner, and hides again. The monster follows the sound. When the timer rings, the creature charges toward it. Evelyn uses the moment to escape upstairs and locks herself in the bathroom, filling the bathtub to prepare for birth. Lee and Marcus see the red lights from far away. Lee knows Evelyn is in danger. Marcus runs to fire pre-planted flare rockets far away to distract the monsters. The loud flares explode in the sky inside the bathroom. Evelyn is in unbearable pain. She can't hold back anymore. She screams during childbirth, but the flare explosions cover the sound. She gives birth to a baby boy. Lee enters the house with a shotgun, following blood footprints. He finds the bloody bathtub and thinks Evelyn is dead. He collapses in tears, until a hand touches the glass. Evelyn is alive, holding their newborn son. Before the baby can cry, Lee rushes them both to the underground soundproof room, puts the oxygen mask on the baby, and locks him in the box. Just in time, the monster heard the baby's first tiny sound and is coming. Lee whispers to Evelyn, "I finally found their weakness. I'm building a device that will stop them forever." Meanwhile, Reagan wakes up, sees the flare lights, and runs home. On the way, a monster silently follows her footsteps. As it gets close to attack, her new cochlear implant suddenly emits an extremely high-pitched feedback screech. The monster writhes in agony. The frequency feels like needles in its head, and flees. Reagan doesn't understand what happened, but she's safe. She finds Marcus hiding. He tells her the monster was right behind her, but suddenly ran away when she got close. Back home, water pipes burst from the monster's rampage, flooding the underground room. Evelyn wakes up to rising water. The soundproof box is open and empty-looking from her angle. She thinks the monster ate her baby. She creeps forward, but the baby is actually safe and silent inside. The monster is in the water with her, inches away. Outside, Marcus and Reagan climb on top of a grain silo and light a fire so Lee can find them. When Marcus tries to stop Reagan from leaving, he falls inside the silo. The grain acts like quicksand. He screams. The monster hears it and charges toward the silo. Reagan jumps in after him, saves him just before he drowns, and they climb back on the door. But the monster jumps into the silo too. Again, Reagan's implant screeches. The monster can't stand it and flees. Lee arrives, sees his children safe, and hugs them tightly. But another monster attacks Lee from above, throwing him hard to the ground. Marcus calls out, giving away their position. The monster charges at the children. Reagan turns off her painful implant, not knowing it's the only thing keeping the creature away. The monster leaps onto their car. Lee, badly injured, realizes he can't fight it. He looks at Reagan, signs, "I love you," and that he never blamed her for Bo. Then he screams loudly on purpose. The monster leaves the children and tears Lee apart. Killing him, Reagan and Marcus race home in the car. Evelyn hugs them, crying. They go underground and meet their new baby brother for the first time. The monster smashes into the house again. Evelyn raises the shotgun, knowing bullets won't work. As the creature opens its armored headplates to listen better, Reagan realizes the high-frequency feedback from her implant is its weakness. Every time the monster got close, the screech hurt it terribly. In pain herself, Reagan cranks the implant's power to maximum and connects it to a microphone. The amplified, ultra-high frequency fills the room. The monster screams in agony. Its head armor fully opens. Evelyn fires the shotgun straight into its exposed mouth. Its head explodes. But the gunshot was loud. The remaining two monsters in the area hear it and start running toward the house. Now Reagan and Evelyn know exactly how to kill them. Reagan turns the microphone volume all the way up. Evelyn reloads the shotgun and smiles, ready for the fight. The screen fades to black. The family is finally ready to take back their world.